Hi, welcome back. Right, we've been doing some optimization with the character creator exporter. What I'm trying to do is make sure that I get the most optimized setting for export and get it consistently. So I'm just at a point now where I've managed to see what I would class as an optimized character configuration for getting these characters into Unity. Now, just to give a quick heads up as to what that means, here on the file system, I've got a LOD group here with roughly 1 megabyte being utilized, right? And that seems to be pretty good, right? So if I check the previous export, so the very first export was on an export using Maya settings, and also exporting all of the test motion data or animation data for the character. So that's all of 7.5 megabytes. Now, if you're looking to get 10 characters, 11 characters into the system, into Unity, that's going to be like 80 megabyte just for the raw character data, not necessarily even taking into account the actual materials themselves, which, as you can see here, is roughly 6 megabytes on disk for this specific export. Now, one of the things that I did for the second export was I put the level of detail in as well, and what that did was it caused additional maps to go out. So for each level of detail, a unique configuration goes out to the file system for each LOD, right? So as you can see here, this has the color information and the normal information for level of detail 1. But then again, it does the same thing, although different, as far as the actual layout is concerned for the level of detail 2. So I've got 5 megabytes of textures here for level detail 2, and I've got another 5 for the first level detail. So it might be best to only export one level of detail. As the optimization, once I went into Maya, you're not actually getting that much of a difference. There is a difference, okay, but not that much of a difference. So level of detail 1, 6,300 polygons. Level of detail 2, 3,200 polygons. So combined, we're looking at 10,000 polygons, okay? So let me just hide that for a second and show what the actual Maya exporter looks like. So I'll just go ahead and hide that and bring back the first one. So Shift H, right. So with this one, I only exported the core information, 6,000 polygons. Pretty happy with that. So it's almost like saying I've got level of detail 2 as my default based on that export, and then I've got the actual geometry itself, right? So if I go ahead and hit the play button, because what this is giving me is some additional data. Wait, no, maybe not on this specific export. That's right, I'm not seeing any animation on the timeline. I'm seeing, no, there's no key information going on here. I do have one at the beginning. Let's just Shift P this. Yeah. So we'll just focus purely on the level of detail 1 coming out, regardless of whether or not it's going through the Maya exporter or the LOD exporter. 6,300 polygons for this character is reasonable enough for the platform that we're targeting, and if we need to think about anything else in the future, then we can just redo another export at the same time. And then another thing that we can notice is that we've also now got the the grunge going on as far as the actual texture is concerned. So that's playing around with Substance Designer via Character Creator. So very happy with that, as opposed to bringing out a very shiny character to go into the game engine, which would probably still work. It's just a case of, you know, if it's supposed to be zombie-ish, then let it be zombie-ish, right? So let's now go back to Character Creator now, and I'll just explore those details. Right, so normally when you come through, by default, it'll have my selected, and it'll be something like that, possibly with embedded textures, right? So that's not on. We don't want that on. We want to be targeting the Unity 3D engine. We want to install level of details. Now, as I just showed a while ago, I don't necessarily need the level of detail too. And I'll demonstrate that the reason why here. As you can see here, the space for the actual characters to move is quite a large space. So it's, you know, at the moment there are no props or anything like that going on within this area, right? So let's see if I can quickly turn off the minimize the screen, so I don't want to maximize all that. I want to show the level of details and how they come into effect. So if I zoom in on this character here now, right, and I'm gonna put this character all the way at the end of this hall. Just waiting on it to catch up with me here. So I'm gonna send this all the way to the end of the hall, right? And if I zoom out, there are not many scenarios I'm gonna have where I am this far away from the character, because this length of this hallway seems somewhat optimized. It'd be a lot of nothing to do if you had to have the character walk like that through this space, more than, you know, traversing more than 3 pillars, okay? So yeah, I'm just having a bit of fun with this here now. Zooming out. Navigation in this version seems a bit strange, or maybe it's just because we've just, now look how far I'd need to be to execute the level of detail 2, or that's actually going into level of detail 3, right? So I need to be this distance to execute the level, which is going to put it down to 3,000 polygons. So the toss up here is, either you're going to go with just one level of detail and always executing at that level of detail. So that range there, you know, honestly, maybe having the number of polygons to crunch at this distance might not be a bad thing. Sorry about this, but there's something wrong with the navigator. So yeah, now I'm doing it now, right? So at that distance, I would say that's probably okay, right? So maybe I'll need to rethink implementing this level of detail workflow, because at this range you might actually need to have the NPCs walking at you from that distance, right? And then this other character, so this is the one that was exported from Maya. So just trying to select that now. So we'd be saying here that at that distance, I'd still be doing the same thing. So it's saying here, once you hit that, you're going to start culling 50%. So it's going to be essentially trying to get it down to something low. I'm not sure how Unity would handle that, considering that I'm only giving it a single level of detail. So having an extra level of detail means more memory in terms of the textures and also the geometry changes. But what you get is that optimization where you're saying, okay, fine, once I'm at a certain range away from the character, I'm going to be able to have the engine automatically swap out that geometry and not try to, you know, render 10,000 polygons on screen if you're not able to see all that detail. And I might even need to optimize things further. But I'm happy with the configuration of saying we're targeting Unity 3D. The number of the LOD is going to be 2, because we've just seen that it might actually work out best to go with that. And then from there you do the export, you click OK, and then you give it the relevant name. And then once you've got that exported, then you will go ahead and drag and drop the content into the special CC assets folder, and then Unity will do its thing using the Character Creators plugin, which is available here. And you don't have to do anything as far as that's concerned. Once you install it, it's got that menu, but that menu doesn't really do anything that we need to care about so much. It will then assign the materials, generate the prefab, and do all the other things that we'd be expecting based on the fact that that content's on the file system, and we need Unity to understand what it is we're trying to do. So that's just a quick note, just so we can remember what the optimized setting is, because the concern here is that there is going to be too many characters to have to constantly rework and optimize. Just exporting takes, like, it feels like forever, but it's probably only like 10 minutes. But 10 minutes of staring at the screen, that's a long time. So we're going to stop things there for now, and I'm going to go do a shorter version of this, because if I walk away from this and come back to it in a month or two, I don't want to have to rethink the whole thing. It's just, this is what you do, and just do it. Right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.